welcome back to my channel and welcome to another What I Eat in a Day, where I show you some delicious, easy, healthy recipes that taste good and are good for you. If you are new to my channel or haven't seen my What I Eat in a Days, I do intermittent fasting, I eat intuitively, and I don't eat gluten, dairy, or refined sugar. But everything I eat is super delicious because who wants to eat food that isn't delicious? But it can also nourish our bodies. So that's a bit of background. I've had my morning coffee this morning. I just drink it black, like a black organic dark roast. It's super important to drink organic coffee because it is one of the most heavily sprayed crops, and there is like long-term exposure risks as well as acute exposure. So not just like one time, but also a long time. You know, you have brain fog, it's linked to a lot of different diseases and disorders, so you definitely want to buy organic. So we are going to have some breakfast. I'm going to make like a delicious chia pudding bowl. I prepped some chia pudding earlier this morning when I woke up. It actually gels quite quickly, like you don't even need to leave it overnight, with some fresh fruit and grain-free granola because that's what I'm craving. And I've also had like a thing with kiwis lately, so that's what I'm gonna have. So this is the chia pudding that I prepped. This is the grain-free granola that I've been loving lately. It's kind of like Purely Elizabeth, but easier to find in Canada. And then I have my kiwi and some organic berries. So this is like my breakfast bowl. You can see how like creamy the chia pudding is. You have to use full fat coconut milk if you want the best tasting chia pudding. I will leave the measurements down below. We have some grain-free granola, fresh fruit, and some bee pollen for some B vitamins. So in my What I Eat in a Days lately, I have been including some health tips. I've done one on cravings, one I think on gut health, so I will leave those down below. But today I thought I would also include some like health hacks that actually work. So things that, you know, you can actually do that has like documented effects, because I know that there's so many, you know, tips out there and you don't know like what works, what doesn't. So I'm gonna share with you some of my favorites that actually work. And number one is intermittent fasting. Huge fan of intermittent fasting, and there is a few reasons why. Number one is that it decreases inflammation. 2, it helps to balance blood sugar. 3, it helps with digestion because it really gives your digestion a break. Number 4 is that it can also help with weight loss and just healthy weight management and keeping long and lean. It also promotes autophagy, which is basically cleaning out the debris and all the toxic junk in your cells, which also promotes longevity and delays aging in your body. So like the aging of cells actually. And also studies have found that even eating the same amount, but in a smaller amount of window, people were actually able to lose more weight. So keep that in mind, that eating the same amount of calories in a smaller window, like you do in intermittent fasting, and they did this in like a 12-8 window, actually people lost more weight. So that's also something important to keep in mind. So while it's good for digestion, inflammation, and all that, I know a lot of you guys come to my channel to look for like weight loss recipes and things like that. So it actually does help with weight loss as well. So a huge fan. I've been doing it for years, and like I said, there's so much really good research to support it. I will leave the PubMed article, like PMIDs, down below in case you want to read the studies yourself. But it is time for lunch. I'm going to make a tuna salad, but I'm going to use avocado because I don't have any like healthy mayo. And I always get, this is the brand I get from the grocery store. It is Raincoast Global. Is just wild skipjack. You always want to get wild tuna because of the toxic chemicals that can be in non-wild, and that one is just in water. Ooh, that's creaking, with no salt added. So I'm gonna make a salad with that, and I'm gonna mash up the tuna with avocado, some great healthy fats to make you satisfied. We have protein from the tuna, and then I'm just gonna include like some lettuce, and I think something for crunch. So either some like hemp hearts, like probably some hemp hearts, hemp seeds, or pumpkin seeds, something like that. So this is my salad lunch. You can see that like not every healthy meal is necessarily like aesthetically pleasing. It kind of like looks boring, but it tastes so good. It's full of protein, healthy fats. I added on some hemp seeds. We've got lots of good fuel for the afternoon, fiber from the lettuce, and it's just like really simple and easy to whip together. I honestly whipped this up in less than a couple minutes because I had the canned tuna on hand. So highly recommend having canned wild tuna on hand, and then you can always use avocado instead of mayo for a great healthy alternative. So another health hack that actually works is collagen. So collagen is super great for your hair, skin, nails, but also your gut and your joints. And adding things like collagen peptides when they're already hydrolyzed actually allows your body to absorb them more. So they've done studies and you actually absorb up to 90% within the first 6 hours of absorbing these peptides. And these peptides are basically amino acids, and all of them can be used in their forms of amino acids throughout the body for things like healthy joints, healthy gut, and also the ones that help to form healthy hair, skin, and nails. Specifically for me, it honestly really helps with like gut health, I find, and hair growth. Like I get so many like baby hairs and fuzzies and new hair growth when I am consistent with my collagen. And collagen also has something called L-glutamine. It's an amino acid that really helps to heal and seal the gut. And I know I'm gonna get questions about brands of collagen. I switch it up. Right now I'm going through one from Ancient Nutrition, but I also use Spruce, which is the Canadian brand. I use Vital Proteins. I kind of like work my way through different ones, but I'm gonna be adding it to the cacao elixir that I'm about to make, kind of like as an afternoon little like caffeine-free pick-me-up. I'm super into cacao. If you watch my Instagram stories, you guys know I've been like obsessed with cacao lately. Normally in chocolate smoothie bowls, but we're making kind of like an elixir type drink. Right now, cacao is super great to consume raw because it's loaded with antioxidants. It's also full of magnesium, which really helps to relax muscles, and it also decalcifies the pineal gland. So I love it. It's super like, and it also gives you that boost because it has theobromine, which like basically gives you like a little energy boost without caffeine. It like circulates in your brain and it gives you more brain power. So it's a perfect little afternoon something. You can make it hot or cold. Today it's not like super hot outside, so I'm gonna make it like warm, but you also can make it cold. I use the Cacao Bliss, not sponsored. This is just ceremonial grade cacao. So I'm having that. And I know I said raw, but like keep in mind we're not baking this. So the temperature of the milk that I'm putting it in isn't high enough to kill the benefits of the cacao. I wanted to specify that. So I can combine that with some milk. You guys know, if you saw my grocery haul lately, I will link it down below in case you haven't. My favorite all-time milk is Milk. This stuff is so good. It's only 4 ingredients, so there's no gums. It's just water, organic almonds, natural vanilla bean, and Himalayan salt. And the vanilla one is super delicious, especially in like elixirs and when you're making like smoothies and warm drinks. So we're gonna go ahead and whip it up. So I'm gonna enjoy my wonderful creamy cacao elixir. You guys can see it is so delicious and frothy. Ugh, so good. So the next healthy hack is to not over exercise. I find so many people when they are transitioning or trying to get healthy, they end up over exercising and doing too much cardio and things like that. And if you're doing too much, what that can do is that can shift you into a very sympathetic state, which is your fight or flight response. And what that does is that it upregulates cortisol because your body doesn't know the difference between you running on the treadmill and you running away from a mountain lion. And what happens when we have high levels of cortisol is that it can make it really difficult to not only lose weight, but you may end up gaining weight. And that's because your body is in fight or flight, so it wants to keep everything it has. So switching to a more low intensity workout, you can actually get better results. Even though you feel like you're not panting as hard, you're not doing as many like minutes on the treadmill, it can actually give you better results. And this has been true for me and so many of the women that I work with. When you switch from more like running from an hour on the treadmill to more like Pilates and low intensity stuff like walking, you actually get longer and leaner because you're not overstressing your body and living in that cortisol state. It's especially true because a lot of us live in a very busy, fast-paced lifestyle. We're doing so many things that we end up being exhausted, pushing ourselves at the gym, getting even more tired, and then our body just doesn't know what to do, and it's really, really stressed out. So I highly recommend using some low intensity workouts into your schedule, and you might be surprised by just how effective they are. So I'm gonna make dinner now. I like to eat early because I do start the intermittent fasting, so I typically eat around 5 p.m. at dinner. So I'm gonna do like a sesame garlic like ground turkey. It's basically an adaptation of my healthy sesame chicken but made with ground meat, and we're not really coating it, and like we're using a similar sauce and putting that on top with some broccolini, which is kind of like, one of you guys told me this is a cross between broccoli and Chinese kale, which is really good, and roasting some sweet potatoes. So we're gonna have protein, a little bit of complex carbs. I find having a little bit of sweet potato at night helps me like start fasting early and then keeps me till the next morning a lot better. So we do that. And like I said, we're gonna make a super flavorful like ground turkey and have like this nice sesame garlic kind of like sticky sauce on it. It's gonna be so good. So let's go ahead and jump in. So this is my finished bowl. We have the roasted broccolini and roasted sweet potato, and then the sesame garlic ground turkey. But you can also use ground chicken, ground whatever meat will work in here. Finished off with some sesame seeds and green onion, full of flavor and so delicious. So I wanted to show you guys because I just warmed up a chocolate chip cookie in the microwave. I like to warm it up at like 50% until it gets nice and soft. And these are from my healthy ice cream sandwiches video. There's just the cookie minus the ice cream. So I'm gonna leave that video down below, but I like them because they're like the perfect soft little chocolate chip cookies. So they're like the perfect little something that you can also make into ice cream sandwiches if that's what you want for the summertime. So I hope you guys liked this, what I eat in a day. If you have any requests for future videos, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'm gonna leave my last what I ate in a day here so you can get lots more inspiration, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.